So, students, let us continue with the second stanza of the poem Night of the Scorpion. Okay, first stanza, you've already come to know that the poem depicts a particular incident in the life of the speaker, which was very devilish, very nightmarish, because it was an incident which where his dear mother was harmed, was beaten by a scorpion, and that he could never forget in his life. Okay, and in the first stanza, we come to know that after that incident took place, the villagers had already come to their house, and like swarms of bees, and they were swarms of flies, and they were uttering the name of God, okay, in order to paralyze the evil one, that is the scorpion. Second stanza, let us continue. With candles and with lanterns, throwing giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls, they searched for him. He was not found. They clicked their tongues with every movement that the scorpion made. His poison moved in mother's blood, they said. So, with candles and with lanterns. So, how did the villagers come? The villagers came with candles and lanterns. Those were sources of light that the villagers were carrying. As already mentioned, it was a dark night, it was a night time, it was dark, it was a remote village. The setting of the poem is a remote village, so they do not have an access to electricity probably at the time. So the villagers, in order to skim through the darkness, they carried candles and they carried lanterns. And threw giant scorpion shadows on the mud baked walls. And with those candles and lanterns, they made a search for the scorpion inside the speaker's house to find out where it was hiding. After it had committed the crime, after the scorpion had stung the mother, they thought that probably it was hiding somewhere in their house. So, in order to find it out, they took the lanterns with them, they took the candles with them, and as they were carrying the candles and the lanterns, these sources of light, they cast shadows on the walls of the speaker's house. And what kind of walls they were? Mud baked walls. Okay, it was a kacha house. The wall was it was filled with mud. Okay, mud was pasted, and mud baked means baked when you bake something, when you heat something. So here, in the heat of the sun, in the scorching heat of the sun, the mud of the walls seem to be baked. Okay, so this shows that it was very hot there, and the heat of the sun had baked the mud of the walls. The walls were made not of concrete, not of cement, but they were made of mud, and that mud was baked in the heat of the sun. Okay, and when the villagers were searching, making a search for the scorpion in their house of the speaker, those the candle and the lantern, they formed giant shadows on the walls of the speaker's house. And what kind of walls they were? Mud baked walls. And what were the shadows similar to? That is the image again that the poet is using. The image that was formed, the shadows that were formed on the wall, those shadows were like scorpion. The shadows also seemed to be like scorpions. This indicated, actually, it's very symbolic. It is symbolic of the fear that was there in the mind of the villagers. Okay, it is a reflection of their inner fear reflected on the walls. In the walls, it seemed to be like the scorpions. The shadow of scorpions were formed on the walls of the speaker's house. And how were the shadows formed? It is because of the candles and the lanterns that the villagers were carrying. They searched for him. They made a thorough search. Okay, they were searching like mad. They wanted to find out that evil thing. He was not found, but their search went in vain, because we already know that after biting the speaker's mother, the scorpion had gone outside, risking the rain. But these people did not know, so they were making a wild search, but ultimately it turned to be fruitless. They did not find the scorpion. Okay, he was not found. He means the scorpion was not found. They clicked their tongues, means in despair, they were clicking their tongue. It's like that, probably. It's not found. They were in despair, they were in distress, they were very unhappy that the scorpion could not be found. With every movement that the scorpion made, his poison moved in my mother's blood, they said. See, from here we'll get to know about some superstitious beliefs of those remote villagers. Okay, they had a belief. It was in their belief that the more the scorpion moved after stinging a person, the more the poison moved into the blood of the victim. So here the victim was the speaker's mother. So they were saying, they were uttering, they were talking, and they were saying that as the scorpion will make the movement, what will happen? The consequence, the result will be that the blood, the poison will move deep into the mother's blood. They were saying that. So that made them very, you may say, very distressed. They were very concerned. They were very worried, and that is why in the first stanza we got to know that they uttered the name of God in order to paralyze the scorpion. Now you can relate, you can understand, if the scorpion is paralyzed, then the if the movement of the scorpion is restricted, then what will happen? The poison will not move into the blood of the mother, deep into the blood of the mother. That's why they wanted to paralyze the scorpion, but they couldn't find it. Okay, so now they're sure that the scorpion would be moving here and there, and as a result, what will happen? The poison will move into the blood of the mother. May he sit still, they said. May the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. So, what did they say? They wished, these are the wishes, they're the belief. The belief, we may underline the belief of the people, the villagers. First belief was what? That the with every movement of the scorpion, the poison will move into the mother's blood. Second belief was that if he sits, may the speaker, the second belief was that the sins of his previous birth be burned away tonight, they said. May he sit still. They wanted the scorpion should sit still. If the scorpion sat still, then what will happen? The poison will not go into the mother's blood. Then they were trying to find out some positivity, and they are telling that they said, may the sins of your previous birth be burned away tonight. As it has already taken place, the incident has already taken place, the fateful incident. So now they were trying to find some good outcome of it. Okay, good outcome, and they are saying that